Realized I have some of this, what is this called? This like manila paper left. I kind of like this paper for sketching because it's super cheap. It's an interesting color. There's no like stress regarding like, oh, I need to do something really good in this sketchbook kind of paper, right? And so I sometimes use it to do like eco printing. I put that in quotes because I'm not really doing it correctly. You're supposed to simmer it and boil it for a long time. So I pretty much just dump boiling water on it and hope for the best. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. I definitely don't get the kind of results that an actual eco printing artist would actually get, but I like to have an excuse to collect pretty leaves. Look at the size of this one. Is this poplar? I always thought that this was kind of the ugliest leaf. It makes me think of, and you want to draw a maple leaf, or you want to do like one of those paper snowflakes, and you cut it wrong and you mess it up and you get the ugliest thing in the world. This is kind of, sorry poplar leaf, but that's kind of what that reminds me of. Anyway, so you're supposed to boil this with something that has iron oxide in it. So in my case, I usually use like rusted things. And you're supposed to prep the paper, which is probably another reason why it doesn't work as good for me, because one, it's supposed to be some sort of absorbent paper like watercolor paper, which this is not. I also tend to add a little bit of like ink or something in the water to get some kind of color if nothing comes out, because then at least the leaf will leave a pattern where the, color doesn't penetrate, so I can at least kind of fake it. What do I do with these after? I have no idea. I still have one I've never used. Yeah. Oh, this is too big. So I'm adding the boiling water, a little bit of vinegar, and for fun I'm going to put in a little bit of walnut ink in here just to get some kind of reaction if this doesn't work. And I'll pour out the hot water as it cools and replace it with more boiling water to prolong the process a little bit, and then I'll just leave it somewhere. It smells like a creek bed. And I don't think very much has happened at all, but I'll take a look. I usually want to leave these as long as possible. That's the problem with the way I do it. You're supposed to boil it for many hours to break down the leaves enough to do anything. But I don't really have a spare pot to boil leaves in, so this is the best I can really do. Here's the watercolor paper, because I heard watercolor paper responds way better. Leaf shapes, but it's still like not really... It's like the color didn't come from the leaf shape. It's more of a mask, except for whatever's going on in this one. It's kind of cool. This paper's going to be really delicate. The cardboard did not survive. Wow. So I'm going to need to get rid of it. So, yeah. Probably not that successful. Look at that one. Sometimes it works, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's just like I was threw ink in there, so maybe this is just like, again, it's just a mask. Or maybe some leaves are just better than others. I don't know. Maybe that's the secret, is to get lots of ink in where the ink's on the certain edges. It looks good. Maybe I should just do leaf prints. This is nice. I'm pretty sure the ink is doing all of the work here. Look at this leaf. That's so cool. This looks like the smoke bush. These always get the best results. They're just so tender. That's actually leaf prints right there. Like, look how the ink soaked in and changed the color here. These big ones I kind of did at the last minute, where I was kind of very slowly collecting leaves. So these ones would have been much more fresh. So maybe that makes a big difference. I don't know. The other ones probably would have pressed and dried by the time I got to it. Kind of smells like pickles. So I've dried and ironed all of my sheets, and I only had enough for about 5 signatures if I wanted to make a sketchbook or notebook. And I'm recycling some cardboard to make some covers for it. So I already uploaded a sort of tutorial on how I like to bind my sketchbooks, so I'm not really going to do it again here. And also I'm trying the Copic stitch method this time because I've never tried it before. And there's a million different tutorials out there for the Copic stitch method, and I just picked one at random. So I'm not sure if it was easier or harder than the way that I normally do it. I actually broke 3 needles trying to do this. And so I ended up with a very nice little eco-printed booklet. And at the end of this video, I will do a kind of quick sort of flip through of it if you really wanted to see what the results were in the end. But first, I'm going to decorate the cover in the easiest way I know how, with a little collage. Someone has gifted me a little stack of really old stamps. And I love old stamps. I love stamps from different countries. Here in Canada, we usually are given the same old stamps all the time of some, landscape. I'm always fascinated by how many different patterns of stamps other countries have, and I love them. And I thought the vintage stamp art theme would go really well with the interior of all of the ghosts of leaves past and rough weathered paper.